Welcome to Ren Behind the Practice. I'm Sophie Campisi. I'm a holistic business strategist, and I spend a lot of my time in conversation with practitioners, coaches, and healers about the behind the scenes of their businesses. What I started noticing is that some of the most honest, important conversations about building a practice were happening quietly, one on one, behind the scenes, and often in isolation. Most practitioners are incredibly skilled at the work they do with their clients, but very few of us were ever taught or trained in how to build a successful startup business. And suddenly we've been left to figure it out on our own. This podcast exists to bring those conversations forward, the dreams, the uncertainty, the highs and lows, the recalibrations, and the messy middle. My hope is that by normalizing these conversations, we can soften the stigma, feel less alone, and start closing the gaps together. Today's guest is Suzanne Butler. Suzanne is an environmental strategist and structural feng shui specialist, assisting self-led women to break through their income ceilings, repair their relationship with themselves, and curate the lives they truly desire. Suzanne, it's great to have you here. Thank you so much for showing up and having this conversation with me today.
Thank you for having me, Sophie.
Before we look behind the scenes, can you share with us a little bit more about the work that you do?
Absolutely. So, journey, I discovered that your environment has a massive impact on everything in your life. And whether you're living in a massive architecturally designed mansion or a one-bedroom studio apartment, your life might not be perfect. You might be on the outside promoting that your life is perfect, but inside it's certainly not. And it's like you're a duck swimming on top of the water and you're looking peaceful on top, but paddling furiously underneath. And when I say your environment can affect anything, it's relationships, it's health, it's your money situation, it's relationships. Whatever is going on in your life, your environment is what is causing it and amplifying it. So I use feng shui with my clients to balance every aspect of their life and then help them work out what it is they actually want their life to look like. Because for the most part, people want what other people think that they want, and they don't know what they want for themselves. So I take it back to basics, and we get really massive clarity on what is your dream life, because yours is going to be different to the next person's, and whatever you want. So that's what I use fragrance, and the results are incredible.
Is the main way that you work with your clients one-on-one?
I actually have a group program. It's a group program that has a one-on-one component. So from my own experience of working with coaches, where it's failed is because I've been put into a group program and it's been follow the bouncing ball, watch all these videos. There's been no real, or we'll have one call a month and you'll get in a hot seat. And it's not worked because my problems are different from the next person's. My level is different from the next person's. So I can't expect my clients to come in all at the same level of understanding, same level of growth. There has to be a one-on-one component. So it is a group container, but when they get their feng shui report, I have sit down with them and have a one-on-one session. I go through their specific report. I explain why things are happening and how we have to fix them. And then I'm very clear. They need to stay in communication with me. And that's something that I really pride myself on. And it's been my point of difference with getting people to succeed, because if they don't communicate with me, I can't continue to help them. And feng shui is very specific and it's very different for every individual person. It's a very specialized journey. So I know from my own feng shui journey, I've been doing this for over 10 years. And from when I started to when I became certified, I realized that I wasn't even doing it properly myself because I didn't have someone to actually go back to and ask the questions. Every time I brought up a problem, oh, just declutter more. That was always the response. Just do some more decluttering. And that wasn't the problem. There was potentially a money block there, or something I was ignoring, or I hadn't put enough of my remedy in, or any number of things, but I had no one to actually go back to. So I've made sure in my program that they're not left alone. They're not sitting out on an island somewhere thinking they're doing it right when they're not. I literally had One of my clients over the last few days messaged me saying, something's happened with money. Money's not coming in. I don't know why. And she's been doing this as long as I have was in another program with me, and has come to join me. And I said to her, I need you to go and check A, B, and C. And she came back and she told me what she'd done. I said, you haven't done it. Like, you haven't done the thing. I need you to go back and do it again. And within 24 hours of her actually doing the thing, which was putting in more water, we used water as an amplifier for money, putting the required amount of water in, she got the result that she was after. But had she been in other programs, they would have said, oh, just go and check a few things or declutter some more. Like, no, there has to be a reason. There's something you haven't done. I need you to go and check A, B, and C, and then come back to me. And it works. And that's why I keep doing it. And I won't stop doing that. I'm here about automation. A lot of my stuff is automated, but the human component will never be automated. You will never have anyone else do your report but me. You're buying me. You're buying my experience and my knowledge. I'm not sending that out to another coach. It just won't happen. It will never happen with me.
The clients that you have now or have had in the past, where have you made those connections? Where have you connected with those people that ultimately do become clients?
It's mostly word of mouth. That's how people come in. I've been in a number of free feng shui advice groups. Those are not my ideal clients, though. And I'm pulling away from that because they don't want to spend money. They want a quick fix and they don't want to do the work. So I'm now attracting more self-led women who are already seeing some success, but something is missing. And they don't know what is missing because they've never experienced it, but they have this underlying desire for more. They want more from life, but they don't even know what more is. And then they feel guilty for wanting more because, oh, but your life is good on the surface. Like, you look great. What could you possibly want more for? Because we all want more. We're all entitled to want more. So I've just put that in place. What do you want? Let's make it. Let's make it happen. If you want the fancy car, if you want the fancy house, if you want more income, let's make it happen. If you want a better relationship, if you want your children to behave, if you want kids at all, like, we can make any of that happen. You just need to know what it is. So I help them go through that process of determining what it is they actually want their life to look like.
When you look ahead to the next 6 to 12 months, what goals do you have for your work and your business?
I have pretty big goals. I don't like using the word goals, though. I have visions. I have a vision. I have a vision of helping 100 women this year. Like, I keep my container pretty small so I can do, the one-on-one stuff. Otherwise, it would be impossible. But 100 women in my program this year, new women, and then the others staying to continue their journey because they stay year on, year out. Like, we just change everything every year, and I help them, support them through the next year. But a new lot of 100 women this year is my goal. It ends up being like a lighthouse effect. Once I help them, it doesn't just help them, it helps their families. So we could see that their children start succeeding at school. Their partners could get promotions or pay rises. They could all get different opportunities, ability to travel more, or, things will just appear out of the blue for the entire family. So when you compound that and I'm helping one woman, but there might be 4 people in the family, it's like this massive lighthouse effect out to the world. And if everyone's affected in a positive way, then what a world we would live in.
Absolutely. When you think about that 100-person vision that you have for this year, what do you think it's going to take to get there?
It's taken clarity for me. I don't stop my work. I keep doing work on myself. And because of that, even in the last 2 months, I've gotten really clear as to why things haven't worked. I've gotten very clear on who I want to help and who I want to work with. And that is what is going to get me to that goal. Because before, I was working with women who, yeah, they want it, but they don't want it bad enough. They don't believe in themselves. So it makes it very hard. I'm also very honest. A lot of women don't like that. because they want to stay in that mindset. So that's where, I've been very clear in the last, probably 6 weeks, gotten very, very clear of this is who I want to work with and this is why. Because they're already doing, they might already be doing some sort of self-development anyway. They've already seen some success. They know what it's like to actually have money. So they want to make more of it. There's a massive difference from people that, they've never had it before to working with people that do have it and want more. And that's who I want to work with.
So when you say that you're discovering, I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember the exact words that you used, what wasn't working, is that what it was? Is you were focused on the wrong target market, or you weren't narrow enough and weren't clear enough within that bigger target market who it actually was that you wanted to work with?
I wanted to help everyone. That's the long and short of it. I want everyone to succeed. We're obviously, the entire world right now is going through an absolute crisis when it comes to just fuel. Like, we're running out of fuel in Australia. And the difference between the way it sort of works is I want to work with the women who, okay, I'll just make some more money to cover that fuel bill, opposed to someone who goes into a panic because how am I going to afford this? But can't look at the bigger pictures, like money's energy. Just go and make more. It's quite simple. Just go and make more money. Use your home to help you make more money. So that's the difference in that mindset. Is I'm not looking at it. Yeah, I paid close to $200 yesterday to fill up my car. And I'm like, okay, I'll just go and make some more money.
Wow. Yes. I mean, what you're saying, it's such a, I think that, yes, we are in a collective dark night of the soul, which means that those of us who are the way showers need to shore up, improve, level up our businesses, because we need to be more clear about who our people are so that we can grab them because they need us. And what you're saying is not just, and I was just having this conversation in the last episode, and I have it a lot. This is definitely a pattern. It's not just we need to improve our businesses for our own well-being. It's also that when we, for instance, are too vague, right, or we're trying to help everyone, we're also not getting masterful at our pocket of the world. So we're also disservicing people. And beyond that, the stakes are just higher. Like, more people need us. They need to be able to find us quicker, easier, and we need to be able to guide them from point A to point B to C and beyond much quicker.
Yeah.
Because the chaos of the world and the suffering is depending on it. Like, it's part of just what's the reality.
Yeah. And when you look at this year we're in, the year of the horse, it is about movement. It's about moving fast. It's about clarity. And that even comes, fame and reputation is a very big thing for this year. So those who have been focusing on the trust me bro marketing, you will find this year, and it already is, it's fading out. It will not survive. It is coming from that more feminine way of working, it being with honesty and integrity and authenticity. That is the way forward. And when I say I'm honest, I'm blunt. I have been known, like when my clients have gone off on tangents and like on a rant, like a negative loop rant, I will yell at them. We're on a Zoom with them, and I will just yell at them just to stop the rant, because it's not helpful. Negativity breeds more negativity. So we need to cut that out. Like, we're talking about programs. I've paid thousands and thousands of dollars into programs that got me nowhere because I was given a cookie cutter that I had to start at the beginning and follow the bouncing ball. And that does not work for me. I've been in business years. I didn't need that. And you have the conversations with these coaches, and they pull you into a container and they tell you what you want to hear. And it's not what you need. You know deep down what you need. And what I have created is what I could not find. I will meet you at your level. And that is what is important. There's no, yes, I have a portal. Yes, there is a process, but your experience is going to be different to somebody else's because it's built for you where you're at.
Absolutely. one of the biggest messages that I share with people about the work that I do with people about the business strategy side is really in alignment with what you're saying about I use the simple metaphor of approaching business like gardening and not hunting. And I know it seems super simplistic, but it's part of what you're saying is we are forwarding mission driven, heart led businesses. The old way of doing things, it's not working. If it was, we would all be thriving and successful. It's not. And you just added in a layer, like the patterns are fizzling out. Like that stuff is even more so going to be proving that it's not working. And we haven't been taught yet or shown great ways for how to build things around us that are truly built around integrity, honesty, connection, authenticity. They're not cooker cutter. They're not cookie cutter. And something I find myself saying on this podcast a lot is telling people if someone is trying to sell you a one size fits all approach to building your business, red flag, because
Yep.
there is no one size fits all approach. From the business strategist side, for why that is, very simply speaking, because our businesses will be completely dependent on who our target market is. And people are vastly different. So your
Yep.
business is going to be your target market, your people are at the core of everything you will do with your business. Like you're saying, the reason that you have built the structure that you have is because you see that this is how it meets the people and your clientele and your people are completely different. And so for anyone out there that's listening, if someone is trying to sell you a one size fits all approach, like this is the way that you build your business, red flag, because it's not true. There is not one way to build a business.
Yep. Like I've had coaches in the past where I've been in a program and I've jumped in the hot seat and I've said, this is what's not happening and what's not working. And I don't know why. And I'm doing, because I'm an action taker. If I'm told to do something, bang, I'll go and do it. And it doesn't work. And I'm like, what's going on? Why am I not getting this success? Why am I not getting the referrals? Why? Because I have to know. I'm one of those people that I just have to know the why. And you get told, oh, go and do 100 calls with 100 people in 100 days. I don't want to talk to people. That doesn't work for me. Or go and do this. I don't want to do that. I want things just to funnel in and people just join because they see my message and they see what I do and they just want to do it. That won't work. What do you mean it won't work? That's how I got involved in feng shui. I know it works because I got involved that way. That's how I started my journey. Don't tell me it's not possible. Show me how to do it. Oh no, you got to do this. I don't, that doesn't work for me. I don't want to do that. And then you get blamed, well, you haven't done the thing. So then that's why the program hasn't worked. That's just, $10,000 you spend and you're not listened to. The gaslighting is crazy.
Yes. And I'm sorry you've had that experience, and so many of us have. I've had it, and so many of us, this comes up over and over and over again. And yeah, it's not true. Like you said, it's not true. What you're saying, a way to, build business, like you said, I know it works. I know there's another way. There are other ways. And it's part of the way that I teach people how to build it around cultivating community and understanding how to take the right action steps that allow you to be in cultivation mode and connection and connecting deeply and authentically with people in real time. It is not cold calling. It's not just go call 100 people in this amount of time and that's going to start working. No, like it's not. It doesn't work for us. And it's not the only way. So I'm sorry someone's told you. And I know that you figured it out yourself. Obviously, you're not, left licking your wounds about that, but it just sucks. I didn't always do what I'm doing now. I was a practitioner for a decade trying to figure out how to run my practice. So I've been in both sides of it. But now that I'm on this side of it, so one of the realities that I'm getting faced with is that, yeah, a lot of people were burned and there's a lot of cringiness and there's a lot of shadow for people who are putting themselves out as business experts and saying, if you do this, it will work. And if you want your practice and your business to work, take this course, invest this $10,000 and it's going to work. And it's not working. And so that's part of my reality and having these conversations because, yeah, it sucks. I mean, it sucks that there has been such a so much broken trust and so much kind of like gross cringiness around this part.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And even the whole, the sales process of, oh, you've got to follow people up, or you've got to do this and you've got to do that. It's like, I don't want to do that. If I've got to follow someone up, I don't want to work with them. Because when I get on a call with someone, I will tell them exactly what's happening and why. And if they don't want to change it, or they can't look at it, they go, oh, this woman knows what she's talking about. She's given me the answer, but hasn't given me the solution. I better join her. I send them an email. Here's the link. I'm here when you're ready. I'm not here to chase them. I don't believe in chasing. I don't want to be chased. I don't want to be chased. So why would I do it to somebody else? That's just ick to me. You either want it or you don't. It'll keep coming up for you and you'll keep seeing it. When you're ready, I'll be here. But I'm not here until you're ready, because I'm not wasting my time trying to help you when you're not going to do the work.
1,000%. And a lot of what you're saying is having the confidence and trust. And it's a version of abundance mentality.
Yeah.
That is drawing a boundary and also saying, like, my people are there. The ones that are ready to work with me are going to work with me. I don't need to twist anyone's arms, because it also doesn't set anyone up for success, right? Like, then also your results, it's not a great experience. And also your results aren't going to be where you want them to be, because why convince someone to do something? Why spend your time trying to convince someone to do something? Not only is that an unenjoyable, icky experience, but also then, like, when they're engaging, they're a difficult client.
Yeah. And they want the world and they think you owe them something because they've spent money. I'm like, you've got to want this for yourself. I can make your investment back in a week. I've proven that. But you have to do the work. And if you're going to take longer than 2 months to do it, then that's why nothing's working for you. It has to be done quickly. I'm not here to chase you. When you're ready, come back to me.
Absolutely. When you think about those next 100 clients, is there anything else that feels particularly hard or heavy about reaching that milestone?
There's always the underlying of the how. Algorithms make, like, everything I've done so far has been organic. So my success so far has been organic. Word of mouth. I've not spent any advertising. But I know that's the next step. But then that's scary as well, because I would prefer to know how to do it myself and then outsource it, rather than trust me, bro, and we'll get you. Look, you don't know my business. You don't know who I'm wanting to attract. You don't know the ins and outs of. So it's finding, that's my next step, is working into the advertising side and promotion and funnel, like really good funnel. Like, I've got funnels that just are sitting there. They're not doing anything because I've not attached them to anything. So they don't sell, but they're great funnels. So it's the one-man band situation. Yes, I've got an assistant, but because I keep changing my mind all the time about what I'm doing, then that doesn't work either, because, you've got to be clear with your assistant about what you want them to do. And because I'm still trying to work it out myself, I'm a person that has to go through the process and do it myself first. So at the moment, whilst I'm not over capacity, I have got the ability to do it myself, and then I can hand it over once I know this is exactly what we want to do. So there's that, this tricky, it's letting go. I don't have any problem letting go. If someone can do it, do it. But I need to make sure that's what I want before I let it go.
Which is, although you might not have that clarity about those steps, you are still a step ahead of where most people are, who think, well, if I just hire someone who can do it, they'll figure it out. Which the reality is, we know this. These are, our businesses are representations of who we be, and like our soul's work, our, karma, whatever you want to call it, in this lifetime. No one else can figure it out for us. And I think that I fell into this trap so many times, not because I was always well-intentioned, but I got so fatigued making all the decisions on my own, kind of like what you're talking about, that didn't really move the needle and didn't really work. At a certain point, I was like, okay, well, I need to hire this type of person, I need to hire them. And then I'd get in that position, and they were all failed campaigns, failed marketing campaigns, email campaigns, failed meta ads campaigns. And it didn't take me, I didn't get there until much later, understanding why. But the core bits of my business, those foundations, I didn't find the clarity on those. I didn't have that crystal clear clarity on it yet, to where then something could be outsourced. That jumping of the gun is, it wastes a lot of time, money, resources, and energy at the end of the day,
Yeah.
because no one else can figure those parts out.
Yeah. And I think a lot of it comes down to, there's all these shiny objects. And there's all like AI has transformed my business. 4 years ago, I created a quiz with the help of a marketing agency, a quiz to go on my website to discover your house type, to discover why you might be losing money or any number of things going on. It took us 2 months to build this bloody quiz. Went on and on and on. And then I was working with a client on her business, and we built her a quiz out, and we had it done in a week. But she was starting from scratch. Like, we had no content at that point, and she was building out everything. But it took us a week. And while I'm doing that, I'm thinking, why haven't I done one for business? So you can work out what your business frequency is and build on that. Because, I think there's like 4 types of business person. There's the woman that's stuck in the hustle, who's exhausted and getting up at 4 a.m. to have a kale smoothie. You've got the woman who is, everything's pretty, but is too scared to post anything because she hasn't got the real just right. Then you've got the woman who has the strategy down but won't invest in herself, so is not moving the needle either. And then you've got the fourth who has done all that and is ready to take off. And I created a quiz so you can determine which avatar you are. That took me 2 hours to build that out. And then I looked at my original quiz and went, okay, I want to recreate that. I had it up and running in half an hour because of AI. And so that's also what I'm now trading on. Is like, I can create my content with AI. It's got my voice. I edited it because if it's feng shui related, I have to edit it. It's nothing I can do generically. So my VA can't create my content. I have to create it. And so there's keeping that authenticity there. But I get her to create the reels, create from what I give her. And then I've even gone further of what I struggled to convey what it is I actually do for my clients. They get feng shui, great. But how? What results are they getting? How is it actually transforming their lives? So take all my recorded Zoom meetings, chuck that into AI and get it to create content for me from those calls. The response I got from one the other day from my client, my monthly client call, where we went over what area of the life? The family area, I think it was. It came out with something like 30 bullet points of content that we covered in a 45-minute call. I posted that. This is what you get in my container. You did all that in 45 minutes? Yep. And it's the first time I've actually been able to have something tangible to show this is what we talk about. This is what feng shui is. This is how we transform your life. This is the stuff you're not aware of. And the response was amazing. Like, why haven't I done this before? Because didn't have AI, didn't have the programs, didn't have the thought to use it. So it's transformed. There's some people don't want to use it. I understand if you don't want to use it, don't want to use it. But the time it's saving me is insane. Absolutely insane.
I think that people who are resistant to it, or one of the things that maybe people aren't fully understanding if they haven't used it, is that AI can't make you an expert. So you don't have to worry about that piece. People who use AI really get that. AI can enhance everything that you do and can be such a valuable tool. It can't make someone an expert. So inherent in using AI doesn't mean that you're, I don't even know, like selling yourself short isn't even the thing, but you can't fake it with AI. No. You can't. It's just going to it's going to help you amplify and do some of the things. Like that example that you gave is such a brilliant way to see like how it can be used. So yeah, I agree. It's transformed everything that I do, but I think that's something that people aren't realizing who haven't used it or haven't bought in, is it can't make someone an expert. You still can't fake it. You can't fake it.
And I only have to look at around Chinese New Year, everyone became an expert on the year of the horse and the year of the snake. Everyone. And I'm reading this stuff going, you're actually wrong. It's wrong. What you're saying is actually wrong. And I can tell this is AI generated. And you're not even an astrologer, let alone a Chinese astrologer. Why are you even posting this stuff? Because it's trendy. I was posting it with fact. And it was driving me insane because people weren't using it correctly. Stick to your own life. If you don't know a full story, or, don't use AI to generate stuff to make yourself look like an expert, because you ain't. And you look like a fool.
Absolutely. If this doesn't happen, if you are not able to fulfill your visions and get to these next chapters for your work, what's the cost? What's the cost to you, to others, to the world?
I've not failed at anything yet. This is my purpose. This is what I'm here to do. Whether it happens this year, again, if I look at my astrology, it might not happen this year. But I will still be putting the work in to ensure that I can do the most I can this year. And then next year, I can do it again. So it's just getting all the foundations in place, getting everything working, so then I can scale it.
Anything else? Yep. Anything else that you want to add today before we wrap up?
I think if you're at the beginning of a journey, or if you've been an entrepreneur or self-employed for a while, you have to keep learning about yourself. That is the biggest lesson I've learned, is you don't know it all and you don't know what you don't know. And you also don't need to buy into massive programs with these huge coaches, as there are so many coaches out there that are doing it for the love of what they do, that can help you just as much, possibly even more. But knowing yourself, getting an intimate understanding of yourself through either human design, your astrology, your numerology, all of the things, your archetypes, it helps in every possible way. Releasing trauma, working through it helps. And it only helps you, and then it helps you work with your clients as well. I can't be the best possible practitioner if I'm holding on to trauma. It's as simple as that. So obviously I would always recommend feng shui, always. That's the basis of everything I do. Once your environment's supporting you, then everything else can roll into it and you'll get through it a lot quicker. But I will always recommend all the other modalities. I don't care what modality it is. Do it. Understand yourself. Understand your inner workings. Understand your mentality. Understand your health. All of the things. Because once you have a hold on that, you're going to be unstoppable.
Amazing. Suzanne, thank you so much for joining me today. And for those of you who are listening, if any part of this resonated, you're in the right place, please reach out. I want to hear from you. And if you want to reach Suzanne directly, the links to her website and Instagram are in the show notes. Thank you again, Suzanne, and to everyone else. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you for the next episode of Ren Behind the Practice.